You want to know how humanity conquered half the galaxy in less than a decade? Well, buckle up, because I was there when the Galactic Council made the single dumbest decision in recorded history. My name is Qrix, and I'm a mid-level administrator for the Council. Anyway. Hard to administrate when your entire government structure is now taking orders from a species you exiled 3 years ago. The irony? Oh, it's delicious. Painful, but delicious. Let me set the scene. The year was 2247 by human reckoning, and the council chambers on Valon Prime were packed tighter than a cargo hold full of Threxian slug merchants. Every species had sent their representatives. The Caliph Dominion, the Forge Collective, even those pretentious Illuvian philosophers who never shut up about cosmic harmony showed up. The topic? What to do about humanity. Now, humans had only been part of the galactic community for about 15 years at this point. They'd discovered faster than light travel, made first contact with a forge mining operation near their asteroid belt, and within 5 years had embassies on 17 worlds. Impressive, sure. Concerning? Absolutely. See, humans had this annoying habit of not staying in their lane. They'd argue with Caliph war masters about battle tactics. They'd correct Illuvian philosophers on logical fallacies. They'd even, and this still makes me laugh, challenge Forge collective efficiency ratings and actually improve them by 12%. But the real problem? They kept asking questions. Why don't we share medical technology with developing species? Asked Ambassador Marcus Cole during one session. Why is the trade network rigged to favor the founding species? Questioned Director Yuki Tanaka at another. Who decided that military force was an acceptable response to colonial disputes? Demanded General Patricia Wells, right before she got herself censured. The council didn't like questions. We'd had 10,000 years of smooth operation, thank you very much. 10,000 years of careful balance, maintained through treaties, trade agreements, and the occasional reminder that the Caliph Dominion had really big warships. Then humanity showed up and started poking holes in everything. The vote to exile them was practically unanimous. 4,217 in favor. 38 against. Humanity abstained, obviously, though Ambassador Cole did flip us what I later learned was called a very rude gesture. Effective immediately, announced Chancellor VYRN, his 3 voices harmonizing in that annoyingly pompous way he had, humanity is hereby expelled from the Galactic Council. All treaties are void. All trade agreements, cancelled. You have 60 cycles to remove your presence from Council space, or we will remove it for you. Cole stood up, slowly. He was grinning. Actually grinning. That should have been our first warning. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, he said, voice calm. Too calm. You're kicking us out because we ask too many questions? Because we challenge your comfortable little system? Because we actually give a damn about making things better? Your species is disruptive, VYRN replied. You threaten the stability we have maintained for millennia. Stability. Cole laughed, and it wasn't a nice laugh. It was the kind of laugh that makes your scales itch. You call this stability? Half your member species live in poverty while the founding families hoard resources. Your justice system has a 73% conviction rate based purely on species profiling. Your military exists solely to protect trade routes that benefit, let me check my notes, exactly 4% of the galactic population. Enough. VYRN's voices crescendoed. You are dismissed, human. Take your complaints and your chaos back to your little corner of space. Cole gathered his documents, taking his sweet time. Then he looked up at all of us, that grin getting wider. You know what the funny thing is? We actually wanted to be part of this. We came here hoping to learn, to contribute, to build something together. But you couldn't handle that, could you? Couldn't handle someone pointing out that your emperor has no clothes. Leave. Now. Oh, we're leaving. Cole headed for the exit, but stopped at the doorway. Fair warning, though. You just told humanity that playing by the rules gets us nowhere. That cooperation is pointless. That the only language you people understand is power. He paused, letting that sink in. We're fast learners. See you in a few years. The doors closed behind him. The chamber erupted in self-congratulatory chatter. We'd done it. We'd protected our way of life. We'd eliminated the disruptive element. Idiots. We were all idiots. Within 6 months, human colony ships were settling worlds in unclaimed sectors. Within a year, they'd established their own trade network, undercutting council prices by 40%. Within 18 months, they'd reverse-engineered our technology and improved it. And then came the Typhon Incident. The Caliph Dominion, feeling bold, sent a battle group to intimidate a human mining operation in disputed territory. 12 warships, each one a masterpiece of destructive capability. The humans had 3 modified cargo haulers and a defensive platform that looked like it was held together with optimism and spite. The Caliph commander, Admiral Thex, transmitted a simple message. Abandon this system or be destroyed. The human response came from someone named Captain Jake Morrison. Counteroffer. Leave now, and we won't add your ships to our collection. Thex, naturally, laughed. Then he opened fire. What happened next changed everything. The battle lasted 4 minutes and 37 seconds. I know because I've watched the tactical footage approximately 600 times, trying to figure out where everything went so catastrophically wrong. Those cargo haulers weren't cargo haulers. They were pocket carriers, each one deploying swarms of autonomous drones that moved like nothing we'd ever seen. Faster, smarter, coordinated in ways that made our military AI look like a child's calculator. The defensive platform? It fired once. Just once. Some kind of kinetic weapon that punched through Admiral Thex's flagship shields like they were tissue paper, turned the ship into scrap metal, and kept going until it hit the moon behind it, leaving a crater visible from orbit. The remaining Caliph ships retreated. Well, the 8 that could still fly retreated. The other 3 got carved apart by drone swarms, their crews evacuated just before their reactors went critical. Captain Morrison transmitted one final message. We gave you a chance to leave. Next time, we won't be so generous. Oh, and tell the Council that humanity sends its regards. The recording ended with what I'm pretty sure was Morrison laughing. The Council emergency session that followed was pandemonium. Chancellor Vyrn's 3 voices were hitting notes I didn't think were physiologically possible. The Caliph representative was screaming for total war. The Eluvian philosophers were having what I can only describe as a collective nervous breakdown about their cosmic harmony theories being proven wrong. And me? I was doing the math. The terrible, terrible math. If humanity could do that with 3 years of preparation, minimal resources, and while being actively excluded from galactic society, what could they do with 10 years? 20? With actual motivation to not just survive but to dominate? I raised my tentacle, waiting for recognition. Vyrn eventually noticed me. Administrator Qrix, this is hardly the time for bureaucratic minutiae. With respect, Chancellor, someone needs to say this. I pulled up the projections on the main display. We need to negotiate. Now. Today. While we still have something they want. The chamber went silent. You could have heard a pin drop, if anyone still used pins. Negotiate? The Caliph representative's crest was fully extended, his fury barely contained. They just destroyed 4 of our ships. This demands retribution. Retribution? I couldn't help it, I laughed. Genuine, bordering on hysterical laughter. You want retribution against a species that went from exiled outcasts to military powerhouse in 3 years? A species that just proved our most advanced warships are basically target practice? Please, enlighten me how that works out well for us. Qrix is right, said Counselor Mira from the Syndicate of Free Traders. Smart woman, Mira. She'd actually visited human space, saw what was happening. I've been monitoring their expansion. They're not just building military assets. They've got manufacturing capabilities that exceed our projected output by 300%. Their research facilities are producing innovations monthly. And here's the really terrifying part, they're sharing it. Every human colony, every settlement, gets access to the same technology, the same resources, the same opportunities. Impossible, VYRN declared. No civilization can maintain that level of equality and remain efficient. Apparently humans can. Mira projected new data. Their social cohesion scores are off the charts. When we exiled them, we didn't just unite humanity against an external threat. We proved everything they'd been saying about the Council was correct. We made them the victims. We made them the underdogs. And humans? They love a good underdog story. I pulled up more intelligence reports. They're calling it the Great Exodus. Every human in Council space returned home within 45 cycles. Not because they were forced to, but because they wanted to. They're building something new, something that specifically addresses every criticism they made of our system. So what do you propose? VYRN asked, his voices finally losing that pompous harmony. He sounded tired. Old. We apologize, I said simply. We admit we were wrong. We invite them back to the Council, with full voting rights, with actual power to change policies. We do it publicly, we do it genuinely, and we do it before they decide that conquering us is easier than cooperating with us. The Caliph representative exploded. Never. We do not bow to upstart primitives. Then you're going to get conquered by upstart primitives, I shot back. Because here's what you're not understanding. This isn't about military strength anymore. Humanity is offering every minor species, every exploited colony, every disenfranchised world something we never did. Hope. Fairness. An actual chance to improve their lives. Mira nodded grimly. Qrix is correct. We're already seeing defections. The PRWN Collective just signed a mutual defense pact with humanity. The Outer Rim worlds are negotiating trade agreements. In 6 months, maybe a year, humanity won't need to conquer anything. Species will be lining up to join them voluntarily. Silence fell again. The kind of heavy silence that comes when everyone realizes they've made a catastrophic mistake and there might not be a way to fix it. VYRN slumped in his chair. Draft the apology. Schedule the diplomatic mission. Offer them, I don't know, whatever they want. I worked on that apology for 3 days straight. Made it humble, sincere, acknowledged every criticism humanity had made. It was perfect. Ambassador Cole's response arrived 2 weeks later. It was short. Thank you for your apology. We appreciate the gesture. However, humanity has decided we prefer building our own future to fixing your past. We wish the Galactic Council well. Don't contact us again unless you're ready to actually change, not just change who's in charge. Regards, the Terran Federation. That was 5 years ago. Today, the Terran Federation controls 42% of known space. Not through conquest, mostly. Through defection. Through offering something better. Through actually meaning it when they talked about equality and opportunity. The Council? We're still here, technically. Still administrating our slowly shrinking territory. Still pretending we matter. Me? I submitted my resignation last month. The Terran Federation accepted my application for citizenship yesterday. Turns out, when you exile the only species actually trying to make things better, you shouldn't be surprised when they succeed without you. See you on the other side.